This is the cheapest 100mm macro lens you can get right now. Well, at least one of the cheapest, and it is pretty good. Hi, it's Cheng here from Red35, and welcome to my latest vlog. Yes, it is a macro lens that I'm reviewing today, and actually more like showcasing it. In fact, this isn't a normal macro lens you can get for your camera. Right, I'm in a beautiful sunny day having a barbecue with my brother-in-law. So I'll take this opportunity to try this lens out to show you what you can do with this macro lens. But before I continue, actually, I want to highlight something, or maybe even declare something. I know many of you actually said that iPhone photography, iPhone videography is rubbish, it's not professional. You may be right, but also you may have heard that there are a lot of professionals out there using iPhone to do their work. Instagrammer, TikTokers, you know, they are professional too, they're making money from it, see? Anyway, so when you say that these things are not serious, it really depending on what you do. So let's put it that way. But I do use my iPhone a lot, as you may have seen in this channel. I have used it for some of my travel stuff, some of my vlogs. I put it on gimbal, just, you know, generally it's quite handy because they're small and they're always with you and they're always on. To have accessories like this, sometimes it gives you some really handy variety that give you your contents creations, maybe your photos or videos, some kind of like a spice, you know, and to make it slightly more interesting, different varieties, stuff that you can shoot and do. Yeah, I do think it's really cool. But Sandmarc, as a company, I haven't really reviewed their stuff for a couple of years now, and because, you know, well, I wouldn't say but the overall smartphone market has gone a little bit stale over the last couple of years, I must admit, because all the AI advancement, and as you may notice that even like all the smartphone, iPhone, Androids, they all have 2-3 lenses now. So additional lenses became more redundant in a way, and so I can see why this kind of slowly disappear, but that may about to change with this little guy here. So this little guy here is a macro lens. Yes, Sandmarc does make a macro lens before, but that was a slightly different lens altogether. You have to mount it to the phone and get really close to a subject to see up close and personal. With this little guy here, what they claim is 100mm equivalent, and so they can basically step further back while you're gaining the same close-up shots, and also better depth of field as well. That means you can get subject isolations or whatnot. So on paper, this is actually pretty cool. But in reality, how does it work and how does the image quality work? In this whole today's exercise, I'm going to show you how it performs and also show you some sample images so you can see or expect to see what these things can do. But before I continue, let me clarify a couple of things as well. On paper, on the box, it says this is a 100mm macro lens, equivalent. So I'm not entirely sure because there's no marking on the lens straight away. And then also remember, and even on the tail end of the smartphone, which I will be using on this particular iPhone 13 Pro Max, has a equivalent focal length of 56mm. So to make it 100, that means that this is kind of less than 2 times. Don't quote me. I don't know. I have no idea. But if it's about 2 times, that means you can mount to any other smartphone. You can calculate your equivalent so you can get closer, maybe further away. It really depends on the focal length you have on your phone. But I do like some of the shots I've tried because you can get some really decent separations from this guy here because of the longer focal length. And I have to say, the bokeh or the separations is actually pretty good. To use this lens, all you need to do is, first of all, either getting a compatible case from Sandmarc, because it's got a screw mount, so you can just screw the lens onto whatever lens you choose to use, like so, and then that's basically it, and you can just turn on the native camera or use any other professional photo apps that you can get on the iPhone. But it also comes with a clip, so we can use the clip and mount this lens on, and you can clip it to any lenses you wish to use, whether it's going to be front camera, yes, you can use a front camera too, or any other smartphone that's not necessarily an iPhone. So if you don't want to get a case from Sandmarc, you can actually clip it onto any smartphone of your choice, and you can get similar shots. Yeah, so it's actually very simple, very easy to do. It's just very similar to, you know, any other smartphone accessory lenses that you can get on the market right now. There's no difference to that. But really, I think the trump card of this guy here is the image quality. I have to say that it is pretty amazing. As you can see, the colors are punchy. There's no degradations there. The quality and sharpness is also very decent, especially in the center. And also, like I said, the subject separation is super. You know, really good, very good bokeh there. And if you get the right distance, you can get some really decent results. While the image quality from this 100mm macro lens is decent, I will have to say that once you put it on, it is limited to macro photography or video only. Yes, this is it. This is not really a tele lens, so to speak, so you can't do portraits because it does limit the autofocus capability, so you can't shoot basically anything past, I don't know, 10 centimeters or something like that. It really is a close-up lens. Can you remember in the old days, in the some of these film SLRs, you know, you used to be able to get one of these close-up filters to put in front of your lens to get close-up shots. This is basically essentially it, but with just magnifications to it. And but like I said, the quality is really decent, and for a close-up lens, for a close-up lens, I wouldn't say macro, but for close-up lens, the image quality is on par, if not better than some of the top-end kind of macro lenses on smartphone categories. So I think Sandmarc has done a really good job here to keeping the quality from the smartphone itself hasn't degraded further, which is the main thing, because the tele lens on the iPhone at least is actually pretty decent. So by putting this lens on and you still see the results and detail, this is pretty a good I would say achievement from Sandmarc. So well done for the engineers who make this design here, and doesn't really degrade any of the quality from the phone itself, phone sensors and the lens. So yeah, top marks for that. In terms of build, this guy here is super heavy. It is super heavy. It's full metal, and as you can see, that is proper glass, and wonderful design here. It's a little bit slippery to my taste, and because the ribs on the lens itself is very shallow, it's very faint, it's almost like just a pattern instead of actually having any physical function, so you can slip out of your hands if you're not careful, so just be aware of that. And like I mentioned, that it does come with a clip. It also comes with a little pouch, which is actually quite nice if you want to carry it around, and yeah, that is pretty good. Last but not least, if you're an iPhone user, Sandmarc does make cases for your phones, whether it's 12, 13 and the latest 14. And in the future. I do like the cases. They're usually quite slim, minimalistic design, very smooth, and I do like the cases. But I now have one complaint. Since the last time I reviewed the lenses and MagSafe wasn't a thing, now it is, and I do use a lot of MagSafe compatible accessories, such like the Belkin little kind of phone holder thing that you can, you know, use it as a hand holder and also put it on top of your laptop. This is not compatible, so the case is not MagSafe compatible. You can see that it doesn't really stick that well, and yeah, it has no conductor inside the case, so that you have to bear that in mind. Maybe they would do that in the future, who knows, but for now, at least for my 13 Pro Max version, it doesn't support any MagSafe accessory, so a little point deducted from that. But anyway, this is not really a deal breaker. The thing is obviously to use the lens. So I hope that you've seen enough test images and videos I shot today. And yeah, I do personally think it's a pretty good thing. And the price is very decent. And also the quality, like I said, is top marks for what it is. And definitely if you are not really too serious about macro photography, and if you don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars or pounds, or maybe sometime in the thousands, this is a good cheap way to kind of explore a little bit of a macro world, you know, whether it's be stills or video. It's really good, and you know, everyone's got a smartphone now, and this is actually probably the cheapest way for you to get into that kind of macro photography and videography. So yeah, give it a go, and if you like this sort of thing, and yeah, please do let me know what you think about this lens after you see the footage and also the images. And yeah, if you're really into smartphone photography and videography as well, I would like to hear from you, because I know some of you don't like that, but I do personally. I use basically anything with a sensor these days, right? You know, it's not just about smartphones or which one's better. I mean, I use whatever tool is in front of me and the best for that scenarios and timing. And but for those who are actually interested in what I'm using right now as well, well, for once, I'm not using my Olympus gears. I'm actually using my ZFC. And with the latest Laowa 15mm f2, together with TechChart AF adapter, actually it's a pretty cool thing. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's just a short thing, and I will hope you also enjoy the sunshine wherever you are as well, having a barbecue. I will see you all very soon. Remember to subscribe and also stay tuned for my next content. Until next time, see you soon. Bye for now. Shh.